What's up, everybody, and welcome back from really a wild weekend, in my opinion. We had, three games that ended in a 0-0 draw, two games that drew 4-4, and then you had the Union winning 6-0. If anybody guessed all those correct, you're magical. Even if you guessed one or two of those correct, that's pretty magical, especially the 4-4 draws and that 6-0. I can't believe those. It's mind-boggling. I watched a little bit of the Portland, Minnesota game. Very surprised by that scoreline, especially coming from a 1-0 prediction for me. But no one knew. No one knew that it was going to end up in a 4-4 draw. So anyway, we have midweek games. We got 6 of them. So let's go ahead and jump right into them here. We have New York Red Bull versus Colorado Rapid. Currently, the Red Bull are 1 win, a draw, and 3 losses in the last 5. That one of those losses do count the loss against Barcelona in that friendly. And then for Colorado Rapids, it's 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses in the last 5. Currently, Red Bull are 4th in the East, and the Rapid are 12th in the West there in the table. So they're just sitting outside of not really just sitting outside, they're actually sitting outside the playoff spot there. These teams against each other are 4-4-4, a lot of fours. Red Bull haven't scored in their last 2 home matches, and the Rapids have not won an away game in their last 12 matches. So here's a chance for Red Bull to turn it around at home and get a win. I think they'll get that done. I think that they beat Colorado at home 3-1. They're at Red Bull Arena. So next up we have, which that was our only game, I believe, on Tuesday. No, actually, here's our last game on Tuesday. We have Seattle Sounders versus FC Dallas. Currently, Seattle are 1 win and 4 losses in the last 5, where FC Dallas are 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. Currently, FC Dallas are 4th in the table. Seattle are 9th. Over the weekend, Seattle lost 2-1 versus LAFC, which is one of the games that I got perfectly correct. And then there was one other game I believe I got perfectly correct. And then FC Dallas beat LA Galaxy 1-0 over the weekend. And then actually that was the game. So both of those games were the games that I got perfect there. So Seattle having kept a clean sheet in the last 5. And FC Dallas have scored 5 goals in their last 5 matches. So they're on a streak of scoring 1 except for one game. They lost 1-0, but they put 2 in another. So with that being said, Seattle won their last home game against Colorado Rapid 2-1, but before that they lost 3-0 to a Portland Timbers team. FC Dallas won their last away game, which was against Real Salt Lake, which Real Salt Lake are pretty good at home in my opinion. So this is going to be a good game. I think it's actually going to end in a 1-1 draw there at Lumen Field. I still think Seattle are struggling. I thought that they were going to turn around and make the playoffs. I thought they were going to be in the top 5 in the West, maybe even top 3 at first whenever they kind of went on that win streak, but it's kind of died off, and I think that they're going to struggle just to make the playoffs. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw there at Lumen Field. So our first game on Wednesday is Charlotte FC versus DC United. Currently, Charlotte are 3 wins and 2 losses in the last 5, and DC United are 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 losses in the last 5. Charlotte, however, did not play over the weekend, which I think is going to give them an advantage. They started to play, and their game got abandoned due to weather. Currently, Charlotte are 10th in the table, and DC United are 14th in the East there. These two teams have only played 1 time, and it was at Audi Field. DC United won that game 3-0. Charlotte haven't kept a clean sheet in their last 8 matches, but have scored 9 goals in their last 5 matches. DC United haven't kept a clean sheet in the last 14 matches, and they haven't scored in the last 2 away matches for themselves. With that being said, like I said, Charlotte kind of got a break over the weekend, and with this game coming pretty quickly here midweek, I think Charlotte wins this game, and I think pretty handedly. I believe that they win this game 2-0 there at Bank of America Stadium over DC United. Next we have the other team that got a break over the weekend, Columbus Crew. They were against Charlotte. That the game got canceled. against Montreal here. So currently the Crew are 2 wins and 3 draws in the last 5, and Montreal are 2 wins, a draw, and 2 losses in the last 5. It's going to be a good matchup because Montreal are 3rd in the table and Columbus Crew are 6th in the table. So they're just squeaking in into the playoffs there, which is pretty nice for Columbus. Columbus have not lost in their last 9 games, so they're on a pretty good unbeaten streak, and then they're also unbeaten at home in the last 4 matches. So this is going to be a tough one to pick because I think Montreal is a good team, but they tied against New York City FC last weekend when I thought that they were going to win at home because NYCFC not having their best player anymore. With that being said, with Crew kind of getting a break, Montreal coming off of, I'm pretty sure it was probably a hard-fought 0-0 game. I absolutely hate 0-0 games. I don't know if anybody else does, but I would hate to be a fan and pay money to go see a game and it ended in a 0-0 draw. Unless it is a fantastically played game, it would just be hard for me. I've only gotten to go to one professional game, and that was the USA versus Canada, and it ended up in a 1-1 draw in Nashville. And I was so happy that they scored because that was my worst fear, is that it was going to end in a 0-0 draw and I didn't get to see the crowd go wild. When we scored our goal, when Brandon Aronson scored, I could barely hear. I thought my eardrums were going to explode because of how loud it was. It was awesome. But anyway, back to this game. The Columbus Crew versus CF Montreal. The last time that these two teams played, Columbus won 2-1 at home versus Montreal, and I got a feeling that that's going to happen again. I think Columbus are doing so well right now, and they're on this unbeaten streak and all that. I believe that they get this done 3-2. We're going to go 3-2 versus Montreal. I do these predictions, and it's just what I think is going to happen. It's not based off of stats. I mean, it is based off of stats. Let me take that back. It is based off of stats because I look at their last 5, their last 5 results, what the scores were, and, some other things that are going on, and where they're in the standings and all that. So I do go off of all that, but I don't do the gambling stuff. I don't think anybody should gamble on sports, especially professional sports, because last weekend was a perfect example. No way there's going to be someone picking that 2 teams draw 4-4 or a team wins 6-0 versus a team in professional sports, especially soccer. So it's dumb to me for gambling. This is just for fun. I want to hear other people's picks, who they think is going to win. So please tell me in the comments below who you think is going to win and what the scores are. There's no wrong answers here. So, but yeah, I just think it's going to be a 3-2 game there at Lower.com Field. So moving on to our second to last game, we have Portland Timber versus Nashville SC. Currently the Timber are 2 wins and 3 draws in the last 5, where Nashville are 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses. Currently Timber set 7th and Nashville set 6th in the table there in the West. So both teams in the playoff picture there. Currently these two teams, their last game, they drew 2-2, and then the game before that, the Timbers won 1-0. So Timbers have 1 win, there's a draw, and Nashville has no wins. Timber are currently unbeaten in the last 4 home games, and they haven't lost in their last 8. So they're actually on a streak, kind of like Columbus Crew. I think that they will get the win against Nashville here. I'm going to say probably a 2-1 victory. That's what I'm feeling here with how both teams scored. Yes, Timber scored 4 in their last game, but I don't think that that's going to happen here. I just don't think it will. So I think it's going to be 2-1 there at Providence Park. Which brings us to our last game of the midweek, and it is San Jose Earthquake versus Inter Miami. Currently, the Earthquake are 1 win, 2 draws, 2 losses in the last 5, and Miami are 1 win, 1 draw, and 3 losses in the last 5. Miami are 11th in the table, and the Earthquake are 13th in the table in the West there. San Jose have not kept a clean sheet in the last 8 matches, and Inter Miami have not kept a clean sheet in the last 11 matches. Also, Inter Miami haven't scored in their last 2 away matches, which brings me to believe that they are going to maybe turn it around here. And I think this game might end in a 2-2 draw there at Earthquake Stadium. If not, it's going to be like a 2-1 victory for Earthquakes. But I'm going to go with my gut, and it's going to be a 2-2 draw there at Earthquake Stadium. So that is all for the midweek games. I'm excited to see what the scores end up being, because last week over the weekend was ridiculously crazy in my opinion. But thanks for watching. Please give it a thumbs up if you like the video. Comment down below. Tell me what your thoughts are, and we'll see you next time.